Chair Carr,
Here.
Vice Chair Wright,
Here.
Director Condit,
Present.
Director Morrow,
Here.
Director Ritchie, Director Wilson, Director Withrow, Director Williams. Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At this time, we'll open it up for public comment. People may speak, step to the podium, make their presentation. Please keep presentations to 3 minutes. Items not on the agenda cannot be handled by the board at this time unless that action is authorized by Government Code 54954.2. Matters that are urgent in nature can be handled more expeditiously by submitting a form to our clerk. Do we have anybody in the audience that would like to speak at this time? Yes, sir.
Hello. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Ron McMurtry here. I'm just not funny. I was going to say a funny comment, but never mind. I just have a couple of items, sort of information items. Now that we have the Route 33 connecting the two campuses, it's still not very useful for this side of the freeway. So I just want to remind that it either should be extended a little bit so that people on this side can get, if there's ever a stop put at the libraries, like I suggested last month, that, people can get to it from both sides, but it would actually be easier to maybe split it into two routes because it would be the same. I think it'd be pretty much the same revenue hours, and you'd have the flexibility to make this side of the freeway be hourly on weekends. You wouldn't have to have as much service. You'd have flexibility of service. So just wanted to throw that, just an idea. The other one, and I may have already made this comment to Mr. Herrera in an email, but I don't remember, but I just want everybody to know for planning purposes that then the South 9th Street project will mean there's going to be new signal lights. So we can, consider how to do the routes. There's going to be a light on River Road in 9th, Hosmer in 9th, and eventually Sonora in 9th, and the access that will go Sonora. They're going to connect Sonora all the way through to Herndon. So just information items. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other members of the public that would like to speak at this time?
Yes, I have one. So we received a written public comment on February 25th by Cynthia Prieto Diaz. I have placed a copy in each of the Board of Directors binders, and I'll go ahead and read the public comment to you now. Dear Board of Directors and fellow community members, I am writing to follow up on an email I sent on January 29th regarding toxic tobacco product waste litter near transit stations. I have not yet received a response and wanted to reiterate my concerns. As a newer resident to the area and an avid runner along Route 60, I have observed a significant amount of litter, particularly cigarette butts, near transit stations. I believe that collaborating with StanRTA on initiatives for cleaner transit stops could address this issue and improve the overall experience for riders. I am particularly interested in utilizing existing infrastructure to prevent tobacco product waste from polluting our environment. I was disappointed to find that a DIY receptacle I had installed and committed to maintaining at Patterson Road and 8th Street was removed shortly after installation. I would welcome the opportunity to discuss potential pilot programs or preventing measures that could be implemented to reduce litter and create a cleaner, healthier community. I am happy to schedule a call at your earliest convenience to continue this conversation. Thank you for your time and consideration. Cynthia Prieto Diaz.
Thank you very much. Any other members of the public that would like to speak? Hearing none, we will bring this back and we'll go to presentations. We are recognizing two outstanding drivers this month. Gilbert Rodriguez, please come up. We proudly recognize Gilbert Rodriguez, our employee of the month for February 2025. Gilbert has been a dedicated utility cleaner at the Transit Center for the past 4 months. And in that short time, he has made a positive impact with his hard work and friendly attitude. One of the things Gilbert enjoys most about his role is interacting with all the employees, bringing a sense of teamwork and camaraderie to his workplace. Outside of work, he enjoys watching sports and making the most of his well-deserved downtime. We asked what advice he would give to someone considering a career with StanRTA contractor, TransDev. Gilbert shares that it's a great place to work with plenty of opportunities for growth and advancement. Thank you for your dedication and all the hard work this organization. A great job, and just to let you know that it's appreciated. Next, we have the, I'm just gonna butcher this. StanRTA. StanRTA. Thank you very much. StanRTA has worked for TransDev for 11 months. Loves driving the different routes, and in the spare time, loves shopping, eating, and watching movies. What advice would you give? It's a good career path to choose. Okay. Moving on, consent calendar. Does anybody want to pull the one item on the consent calendar? Hearing none. Anybody from the audience would like to pull the consent calendar item? Okay, and we don't have anybody online, is that correct? Okay, thank you very much. At this point, I will accept a motion to accept the consent calendar as is.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Consent calendar passes. Discussion items, 7A, motion to accept the fiscal year ending June 20th, 2024 audit financial statement and the independent auditor's report.
Fair, Carl. Take that. Wanted to introduce Eric Zinn. He is online for us. He is our auditor with Brown Armstrong Accountancy and completed the audits for us in the past month. And he's here today to provide a report on the audit. So Eric, can you hear us okay?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon. It's my pleasure to present the 2024 audit results here. First of all, I would like to take this chance to thank Letty and her team for their hard work and support. The audit went very smoothly thanks to their effort. Please allow me to briefly explain our audit scope and the audit process. We performed an audit of the StanRTA's financial statements, as well as the internal controls over financial reporting and compliance for the fiscal year ended June 30, 2024. We also performed an audit of StanRTA's compliance over the major federal programs for the fiscal year 2024. Our scope of procedures includes inquiry, confirmation, verification, substantive testing, and analytic procedures. The following are the most significant audit areas we focused on during our audit: cash and investments, receivable revenue and unearned revenue, capital assets, accounts payable, accrued liabilities, and expenditures, leases, and subscription-based IT arrangements, liabilities, budget compliance, TDA compliance. We also performed testing relating to certain fraud risk areas, such as travel expenses, fictitious vendors, credit card items. Our audit testing resulted in no audit findings that we are required to report to the board. As a result of the audit, we issued 3 different reports. They are independent auditors' reports, the report on StanRTA's financial statements. We issued our report with an unmodified opinion or clean opinion. We also issued report on internal controls over financial reporting and compliance and other matters, which also resulted in an unmodified opinion with no findings on internal controls over financial reporting. We also issued our 3rd report, that is a report on compliance for each major program and on internal controls over compliance required by the uniform guidance. Again, we issued an unmodified opinion with no findings on internal controls over compliance. Finally, I have some required audit communication with the governing board. For the fiscal year ended June 30, 2024, StanRTA adopted Governmental Accounting Standard Board Statement Number 100, Accounting Changes and Error Corrections. Accounting estimates of the discount rate for the purpose of calculating the right to use assets and the related liabilities for leases and subscription-based IT arrangements are based on StanRTA's estimated borrowing rate. We evaluated the key factors and assumptions used to develop the estimates and determined that they are reasonable in relation to the overall financial statements. The financial disclosures are neutral, consistent, and clear. We did not propose any material audit adjustments, and we did not have any disagreements with management during our audit. StanRTA did not consult with other accountants about accounting and auditing matters during our audit process. Our discussions with management during the audit process and our responses were not conditions to our retention. And we encountered no significant audit difficulties during the audit process. And finally, we did not detect any fraud or abuse issues relating to StanRTA's employees and management. This concludes my brief presentation. I'm now open to any questions you may have.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Do we have anybody, any of the policy members that have any questions or comments?
Nothing for Eric. Eric, thank you. Thank you for doing this. I just want to commend our staff. Good job, guys. Very well done, and everything turned out perfect, and we appreciate all the hard work you're doing. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have anybody from the public that has questions for this item? Okay, hearing none. Okay, we have a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Thank you very much. It passes. 7B, fiscal year 2024, 2025 mid-year financial report. Lydia? Liddy?
Hi, good afternoon. Presenting today's fiscal year 2024-2025 mid-year financial report is going to be Nicole Hansley, our financial analyst.
Good afternoon, Chair Carr and directors of the board. Today I'll be presenting StanRTA's mid-year financial report for the period of July 1st through December 31st, 2024. Next slide, please. Operations expenditures for quarters 1 and 2 totaled about $16 million of our $44.9 million budget. As you can probably not see up on that pie chart, so I will explain some of that to you, which is about 35.6%. In this slide, what you could possibly at some point have been able to see was that these are the operation expenditures by classification. Services and supplies makes up the majority of our expenditures at 89%. Salaries and benefits is 8%, and internal services is just. Next slide, please. Better. If we break down these expenditures by more specific types, for the mid-year budget or mid-year expenditures, you can see our contract with TransDev is 76% of our $16 million expenditures. This figure includes July through November invoices, and December was received in February, but that would allow it to still stay within our mid-year budget. Fuel made up only 5% of the mid-year expenditures, which is obviously pretty low. This is due to delays in invoicing from our vendors. At the time, we'd only received July and August invoices from the city of Modesto for our diesel and gasoline, and 3 invoices from Stanislaus County for our CNG. Since this time, we have received September and October invoices from the city and all the other 3 invoices from Stanislaus County for the CNG. And then similar to fuel, maintenance parts and materials is only at 3%, and that's due to delays in invoicing from the city of Modesto for the maintenance of our vehicles. A couple of notes in services and supplies, which is 5% of our $16 million expenditures. Insurance, other than workers' compensation, has a deficit due to higher than expected actual costs, but there will be no other expenditures received. Rents and leases for structures and grounds had higher than expected expenses due to the rental of Modesto Center Plaza for a town hall with drivers and the bus stop at the Chrisman Road for routes 90 and 100. If you look at internal services, the auditing and accounting budget did not include the amendment to the contract, which was approved on October 24th, 2024. This amendment increases services to $53,800. Professional services, excuse me, is at 97.3% of its fiscal year budget due to unexpected costs associated with rewiring the administrative Wi-Fi in our offices. Software for internal services exceeded the budget due to an amendment with the TransTrack contract, which added maintenance and support, and contingency funds will be used to balance these items. Revenue recognized in the mid-year financial report totaled just over $7 million, which is 15.7% of the total budget. This is just due to the timing of federal, state, and local disbursements. Next slide, please. Here you see the facilities and rideshare mid-year budgets. The transit center had expenditures of $483,000, which is about 46.4% of its budget. Amtrak station showed expenditures at $89,000, which is about 33.9%. And rideshare had expenditures of $98,500, which is about 40% of its adopted budget. The authority does not anticipate any large purchases for these 3 departments and will end the year within budget. Next slide. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you for your time and attention. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you very much. That was a very nice presentation. Do we have any questions or comments from the policy board?
Sorry, I know you guys always look at me thinking, what's he gonna say? So just salaries and wages. So I just want to, when I'm looking at actuals versus budget, as you know, on the charts here in the, and so quarter 2 actuals at 674 versus the expected was 975. So is that 975 actually what we budgeted for that quarter? Or is that like half a year's worth There really, it looks like it's half a year's worth
Yeah,
compared to, is that just a quarter? Is that just 3 months worth? And that, and the actuals is just 3 months worth?
yeah.
And the budget is actually 6 months worth. Is that right?
So, I'm sorry, so the budget is, if you're looking at the quarter two actuals and quarter two budget, sorry, it would be quarters 1 and 2.
Okay, the budget is 2 quarters
And
worth and the
actuals
actuals,
also.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just. but
Sorry,
just-
I see what you're saying. I should have clarified that.
Yeah,
at
no
the
big deal.
top, Sorry.
And so, yeah, and if, it'd be great if we could actually see so the actuals were 675, what is that? I mean, it seems higher, I guess, really, than what, if that's just 3 months worth versus what we thought for, but maybe it's close, so.
So would you prefer to see just one, like just 3 months?
If we could, so that we're apples to apples, just when we say, how do we do this quarter versus what we budgeted for this quarter? Yeah, it's not a big deal, but it just would, for all these things and all the way down, that would be great, then that would work, so. Okay, that was my only, otherwise, everything looks good, thank you. If there's just some way we can compare, get better comparison, it's just great to always be able to see the actuals for the quarter, which we have, but then the actual budget for the quarter, not for the half year.
That-
Thank you, guys. Good job.
Jeremiah?
Yes, Nicole, right?
Yes.
Is there that pie chart in this book at all?
I don't think it was, but I can get it to Adam so that he can send it.
Okay. I mean, it looks much better than what's in this paper right
Okay,
here.
it's probably a little easier to read for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the policy board? Do we have any questions or comments from the audience? Okay, this is an informational item, so we don't need a motion. So item 8, we have some informational items that the policy board can review at their leisure. Then at this point, then we go to the CEO report.
You, Chair Carr. Wanted to also thank staff for the great work on the audit. So Letty and Nicole and team, thank you for the great work there on the audit. And we've been working on the budget for next year as well, and they've been instrumental in that as well. And that'll be an exciting agenda topic for next board. Just a couple items I wanted to make the board aware of. In a few weeks, we'll have Go Green Week, which is a free ride week that we've done for the last number of years. It's a grant, we use a grant, the LC TOP, Low Carbon Transit Operations Program grant, to fund the free ride. So look forward to that. It's free rides on every mode that we have: fixed route, commuter route, and the ADA demand response services. So look forward to that here in a few weeks. Lastly, one last thing. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the ridership that we've seen over the last couple of months. We've seen, last year we saw a lot of increases in ridership on the buses, and we've seen it more even out now, especially over the last couple of months. Even February, which I know isn't up here because the month's not done yet. But I looked at the numbers this morning, and we're just on track to hit just a bit about last year's number as well. So know that the ridership on the system has leveled off, but we're still at good numbers, and we're still seeing a lot of people on the bus. So wanted to make the board aware of that. And with that, that's all I have for you today. Thank you.
Very much. Director's reports. Do we have anybody from the policy board that would like to make comments or reports? Okay. Hearing none, I will accept a motion for adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned.
But please stay.
Okay, fine.
I was going by the.
I got my, strike my motion.
Okay.
Yeah, if the board could stay, we do have another meeting.
Oh, is that this one? Oh, okay. You got a special meeting. It's your fault. Huh?
No, I thought you.
I blame the person closest to me.
Did that. He did that. He did that to keep us on our toes.
And We've reconvened from closed session. There is no reportable action. So we are adjourned. Thank you.
Okay.
Having this back.
Okay.